welcome to another Woolfull video. My name is Debbie and I'm not going to show you any crochet techniques or knitting techniques. I'm going to show you how to sew the Kitchener stitch on socks. So if you have a little look down here, here's one I did earlier in true Blue Peter style. So the Kitchener stitch basically is being able to sew up the toe end of a sock so that you don't get, you know, that horrible lumpy feeling on the end of your toe because you've got a seam. So I'll show you on the inside. That's on the outside, it looks nice and smooth, and on the inside it's really just smooth here. And I know you can't really see a whole lot on video, but it is smooth and you don't get a seam, so you're not going to end up with a sore toe if you've got a tight shoe on. So it's a bit of a faffy stitch to learn, but I will show you how I do it. You've got your toe end of your socks. When you finish knitting, make sure that you've got the same number of stitches on each needle, on just the last two needles. Here we've got 12 stitches on each needle. Then you want to cut yourself a length of the sock yarn. Some places say do about sort of 12 inches. You don't actually need anywhere near that amount. You're not going to use a whole lot. So anywhere between 6 and 12 inches of yarn is fine. Thread it on the end of your sewing needle. You can use plastic if that's what you're comfortable with, or metal. I tend to use plastic quite a bit for sewing up, but I do prefer metal one for the Kitchener stitch. Don't know why, just a preference. So to start off with it, you want to be able to anchor it so that your stitches aren't going to run or pull. So to anchor your first stitch, you start off, well, your wool's coming from the back needle here, so you want to go through your front needle first. So you go knitwise with your sewing needle through the first stitch, leave it on your knitting needle and just pull it through and give it a little tug. Don't need to pull hard on this or else you'll end up with it all puckered up. And then through your back needle you go through purlwise through that first stitch, leave it on the knitting needle and just pull it a little bit tight, not too tight. Now we're ready to start getting rid of some of these stitches. So knitwise again through the first stitch on the first needle, and as you go through just take it off the end of the knitting needle and pull it all the way through. Then on the front needle again you're going to go purlwise this time through the second stitch, but leave it on the end of your needle, on the end of your knitting needle. You don't want to take that off just yet, and give it a little tug. Again, not too tight. Then you're going to go to the back needle and you're going to go purlwise through that first stitch, and as you go you want to take that one off the end of your knitting needle, being careful not to dislodge the stitches on the front needle as you go. Then you're going to go knitwise through the second one, the next one on that back needle, but leave it on your knitting needle. So it's kind of a figure of 8 that you're going to do. So you start first on your front needle, you're going to go push it through the first stitch knitwise and take it off the end of the knitting needle and bring your yarn all the way through. Next you're going to stay at the front, you're going to go through your next stitch purlwise, leaving on the knitting needle. Make sure your yarn goes under the needle there. And then you're going to move and do your 2 stitches on the back needle. So you're going to go purlwise through and remove it off the edge of your needle and take your yarn all the way through to close the gap. And then again on the back needle you go knitwise through that next one, but leave it on the needle. Okay, and we're going to do all that all the way to the end, so I'll just do a couple more with you because it's probably not greatly exciting watching me do it all, so I'll do a few more. So front needle you go knitwise, take it off, take your yarn all the way through, purlwise, leave it sat on there, take your yarn all the way through. Back needle, we need to do 2 things, so we're going to go purlwise through and take it off the edge of your needle, yarn all the way through, and then knitwise through the one at the back and leave it on that needle. So your front needle is always going to be knit first and take it off the end of there, and then you're going to follow it with a purl, and then you're going to move to the back needle and you're going to start with a purl and take it off the end, and then you're going to have a knit. And it's kind of like a figure of 8 as you go. It can get a little bit monotonous and it can be tricky to remember in the first place which bit you do where, but as soon as you've got the flow and the rhythm of it in your head, it's dead easy. It's really not a tricky thing to do at all. People just think it's hard because maybe they haven't tried it or maybe they've not been shown how to do it properly. But it's not hard to do. Trust me, I've done many a sock. Rosie seems to be on a mission lately of knitting socks, and she's made quite a few pairs already in the last sort of 6 months or so, and I get to sew up a lot of them. So again, from the front, push it through knitwise and flip it off, and purl one through there, and then purl through the back, and then knit one through there, and that's what you do right the way to the end. When you reach the end, all you need to do is thread your yarn through to the inside of the sock and thread it through as you normally would, and you'll end up with this gorgeous seamless toe. Enjoy!